Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about uncemented implants. Is there still something to be left out and something to be said? Yes. Those who are THR surgeons, they must know the cementing technique properly. They must know how to use the uncemented hips also. Uncemented hips are more important because nowadays you have to do THR in young patients like severely affected avian and so many other pathologies. So both the things are very, very important. Uncemented THR works on the principles of biological ingrowth, which would increase the longevity of the implant and long-term results of THR. Results depend upon technique, design of the implant, material of the implant, and indications for surgery. Criteria for the selection for the uncemented THR are factors to be considered: age and density of the bone. The density of the bone can be calculated with Singh's index or morphological index. They say you can do uncemented implants in young patient. Who is young? Chandler said it is less than 30. Davis said it is less than 50. Doerr said less than 45, and Ranawat said less than 55. We follow less than 55 uncemented, more than 70 cemented, between 55 and 70 variable according to the density of the bone. And how to measure the density of the bone? Here you can see you measure this outer cortex to outer cortex at the lesser of the lesser trochanter and 7 centimeter down between the inner cortex and divide CD divided by AB. If it is more than 2.6, you do uncemented. If it is less than 2.6, you do cemented. That is the usual criteria. A prospective study of primary uncemented THR done on 600 hips in 560 patients at Bombay Hospital with an average follow-up of 11 years, between 1 and 15 years. We have used variety of implants. We have used Sulzer's hip. You can see in 50 patients. Bi-contact Escalap implant in 230 patients and Corel implants in 262 patients. We have done ASR in 7 cases. Large head with Corel stem, there are 51 cases. The bearing surfaces, we have used metal on poly in 100 cases, metal on cross-link poly in 322 cases, metal on metal 87 cases, ceramic on ceramic 91 cases. Unilateral 560, bilateral 40, males 432, females 168, minimum age was 21, maximum age was 61, and average age was 42 years. Different pathologies are used. Avian was the maximum, 238 cases, ankylosing spondylitis, 97 cases. Post-traumatic avian is in 50 cases. and such different pathologies like uh, chondromatosis 3 cases, rheumatoid hips 40 cases, ABC with pathological fracture 1 case, failed AMR 24 cases, and primary OA 3, dysplastic hips 8. Surgical approach is always taken posterior. Radiographic evaluation was carried out for 600 hips, and the criteria of Ing, who has published in 1999, we have carried out those criteria, whether it is varus or valgus orientation of the femoral stem, subsidence of the femoral stem, pedestal sign, cup inclination of position, whether it is varus or valgus, migration of the cup, spot welding along with the femoral and cup components, and whether there are shake lines, that is showing the loosening, calcar atrophy, and presence of hypertrophic new bone. You can see here spot welding, very nice new bone formation which shows spot welding. There is a welding here along with the stem and the main cortex. Spot welding at the acetabular level. Then cup placement, whether it is anatomical, it was in 94% cases. High center and superficial in 6% cases, and average angle, inclination angle of the cup was 40. You can see here, this is the primary pathology, and because of that, the acetabulum was big. The acetabulum has been put little higher up than the normal. It should be 3 millimeter. The inferior angle of the cup should be about 3 millimeter away from the teardrop, but here it is little higher up, so center of rotation is higher up. That is, in 6% cases it has happened. The stem placement was valgus in 50% cases, neutral in 45% cases. That is, 95% cases it is quite good, and varus in 5% cases, which is not that good because the varus stem will fail as early as possible, less than 10 years. Migration of the cup, there was no migration of the cup. Evidence of shake lines in 1 case and evidence of subsidence in 1 case. Pedestal sign shows that new bone formation at the tip of the processes, which shows that this processes was little loose. There was microscopic movements, and that's why nature tried to fix that stem with the pedestal sign, forming new bone here. Calcar atrophy was 10%, and heterotrophic ossification was in 12.5% cases. Here is a case of both hips were, because of the new bone formation, in the hips, and I tried to do the hip replacement and removed all the new bone, and this is immediate post-operative. This patient was very good immediately post-operative, but you can see here in 1 year post-operative there was new bone formation again, and this hip got completely ankylosed. So in some cases where there is possibility of heterotrophic new bone, you should not do a total hip replacement because there is good chances of a new bone formation again. Results of uncemented THR, literature review. There are so many people have reviewed Engarten and Ladies, and our results of 600 hips. 15 years follow-up, 99.4%, which is supposed to be very good in comparison to all other people. Their results are also very good. Choi has 100% results, but it is 8.5%, and ours are 15%, 15 years. Here is a case of avian bilateral. This is 1 year. I'm sorry. This is 1 year follow-up. This is 4.5 year follow-up, and this is 14 years follow-up. There is no change in the no shake lines, no loosening, and patient is absolutely fine. This is another case of 12 years follow-up. This is another case of 15 years follow-up. No change in the first year and 15 years X-rays. This is a case of where we have used the large head metal to metal with large head and coral processes. And this is 7 years post-op, doing very well. There is no problem at all with this lady. We have done some cases with metal on poly. This is dysplastic hip, bilateral dislocated hip, and this is immediate post-op. This is 3 years post-op, and this is 7 years post-op. And this girl is doing very well. At the age of 44, she was operated because she started getting pain at the age of 44. Complications, we had one case of pulmonary embolism, DVT in 35 cases out of 600, that is about 6%. Infection, late infection in 2 cases, dislocation in 5 cases, nerve injury in nil, heterotrophic ossification in 62 cases, ceramic liner squeezing was not seen at all, thigh pain was not seen at all, loosening of implant is in 1 case. You can see the dislocation, and this is the loosening of the cup here. You can see their gap has increased here. This is a pulmonary embolism case. On 12th day of the surgery of THR, patient of 50 years suddenly developed severe breathlessness, diagnosed as pulmonary embolism, confirmed by D-dimer and CT scan. Operated immediately by a cardiovascular surgeon, and a 9 inches of clot was removed from the right pulmonary and 9 inches from the left pulmonary artery. Total 18 inches long clot. This is the 9 inches, and this is another 9 inches. 18 inches clot was removed, and patient was survived. If stability of the cup is provided by screw fixation, then there is possibility of polyparticles traveling along with the screw and can produce osteolysis around the screw. Here you can see here this cup has produced this screw has produced a osteolysis around the screw, and this possibility cause of the cup loosening. Infection is a deadly complication. It can be early or late. In early infection, joint debridement with retention of the processes is the treatment of choice. In late infection, 1 or 2 stage revision can be done. I present a very rare case who got E. coli infection after 20 years of primary surgery. Primary surgery was done in 1988. Revision of the right hip was done in 2011, that is after 23 years. This revision was done with, this was primary was cemented hips, this is uncemented hip. He came in 2015, last year, for revision of the left side. That time we found he had a subsidence of the right hip, where it was done primary in 2011. And on the left side, we found a E. coli infection because there was a lot of swelling around the hip, and we aspirated and found a pus, and it came out to be E. coli. Excision of the left hip was done, and after 2 weeks of antibiotics, a spacer was put. The infection could not be controlled even after higher antibiotics, and he passed away due to septicemia. So this can happen after 27 years of infection can occur after so many surgeries. Summary: encouraging clinical radiological results in 1 to 15 years follow-up cases. Clinically, Harris hip score improved to 82%. Radiologically, excellent fit of the cups and stems, absence of shake lines, except in one case, no migration, good amount of spot welding, along with the bones, both the components, and very few complications. The literature also gives the same opinion. Conclusion of our study: results of uncemented THR over a period of average of 11 years, 1 to 15 years, good to excellent. However, the long-term durability, strength of the component, and biocompatibility should be assessed after a long time follow-up. Uncemented implants today are very good to excellent for biological ingrowth and survivorship of these uncemented implants, which can be proved with our 600 cases of 1 to 15 years follow-up. So there is good amount of bone ingrowth in uncemented implants, whatever is today available. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions?